Got the new dryer for the air conditioning in. Got the degas bottle, the coolant overflow jug in. Got my new OEM positive battery cables in. Wrapped the negatives in conduit. So just little stuff, picking away at it. All right, so we're embarking on a two-part project now, which is changing my old Hydro Boost to a GMT 800 or a Duramax style Hydro Boost. I am attempting to do this with the steering wheel column in place. It's probably gonna be a pain in the balls, but we're gonna do it anyway. And the other thing that we're gonna do is put the clutch pedal in. So that's gonna be, these two holes get drilled out, then this knockout either gets drilled or punched out or whatever it is. Got my clutch pedal, so we're gonna see what happens. So far, working under the dash has sucked, and I already regret it, but married to the game. If anyone was wondering, don't swap a 90s GM truck, just buy a factory 5-speed, because this fucking pedal assembly, which is somewhere up there, was the biggest pain in the balls. Also, I don't know what the fuck this thing is, but it was in the fucking way, so that's gonna go somewhere else. But anyway, we got the clutch pedal in, despite the truck's best efforts to stop me. So now I just gotta drill out for the master cylinder, and then I gotta drill the floating hole somewhere because the GMT 800 has this guy down here. So we'll see what happens. So part of swapping the newer Hydro Boost unit requires extending the shaft that goes to the brake pedal. So basically what I did is, got the old master over there, or the booster rather. I just measured the distance from the mounting plate to the end on the old and the new. Took the difference, and that's what I cut off and added to this one. It's pretty straight. I think it's about as straight as it has to be, because obviously this has kind of like a ball and socket joint on either end. So I think that'll take up for whatever inconsistency there is, and just welded it out and ground it somewhat flat. And yep, so got that, and I got my bottom hole drilled and subsequently reamed out. So now I can go ahead and put the booster unit in and then start plumbing it. So you can see in there the trigger wire, the little one there on the bottom of the solenoid. And I wanted to go with something just nicer than this. This is just kind of temporary for when we test train it. So shout out to Kyle, made me this nice little single wire harness. It's probably like 10 gauge wire, nicely wrapped, heat shrinked, everything like that. So we're gonna go ahead and swap that out and tuck it in with the other wiring here in P-clips. This is an upgraded lower steering shaft from Cunningham Machine. As you can see, it uses a U-joint instead of the rag joint. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that swapped in and hopefully take care of whatever remaining slop there is in the steering. So we're gonna get to it. So I got the new steering shaft in. Not much to say about it. Fits good. Install was easy. I'll show you guys what the rag joint looked like. So at this point, I've taken a ton of videos and I haven't put anything together yet, and I honestly have no idea what's going where, so forgive me if this is out of order and if this winds up in some random video. Anyway, I figured we're kind of waiting for parts for the transfer case brace, and I figured we'd get to work cleaning up the cab. So there's a couple of these plugs throughout the cab, and basically it's just a piece of metal that's like seam sealed in. I don't know if I have any of the old ones still. This is what an original one looks like, and they rot out. So I had a couple of these made. They're just plugs, and so I RTV'd those in, and I pulled all the sub harness up, and I used to have it zip tied to the steering wheel so it's up and out of the way. So I'm gonna get to work vacuuming out the floor, and I might start laying down some kill mat. Still can't open this door because when I put the HD style door handles on, I fucked up the rods and it jams up sometime, and the only way to fix it is to wiggle the lock switch, which you can't do right now because there's no power to the cab. So that's kind of a bummer because it means I have to work out just out of the driver's side door. Anyway, so I'm gonna get to work cleaning this up, and I guess we'll take it from there. Got it vacuumed out mostly, still a little dusty, still a little painting up there. And now we're gonna get to putting the kill mat on, and if all goes according to plan, this is the last time that this floor is gonna see the light of day in a long time. So I'm gonna call it quits for tonight. I gotta run the vacuum over there before I hit that side again, and I don't really feel like listening to that right now. So this is what we got done. It ain't perfect. There's gaps and stuff. Still not very good at contours and whatnot, but between this and the new carpeting that's gonna have the sound deadener material on it like the original did, plus the stuff on the firewall, should make a little bit of difference. I don't think this truck was terribly loud before, and I think the Duramax is gonna prove to be a slightly quieter engine with the factory turbo on it anyway, or the factory style. So I don't think it's gonna be like imperative to fully make this thing completely soundproof, but should be a nice addition, especially maybe keep some of the road noise down. So that took, to get to this point was probably, I don't know, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours or so. This is stuff I'm using. I don't know if I showed it in a previous video. This is Noiko brand, Amazon, cheaper than Killmat, cheaper than Dynamat, better reviews, pretty easy to work with. I've never used the other stuff, so I can't really attest to that, but anyway, so we're gonna get back on this tomorrow and see what we can get done. The floor is about as done as it's gonna get until we can figure out what's going on with the tunnel. So I left that all exposed, thinking that there's probably gonna be potentially some cutting and definitely some welding involved, but we got most everything else done, so we can check that off the list. And if anyone was wondering, it takes that much square foot to do the inside of the cab, and also what I did on the firewall, and have a couple miscellaneous pieces left over. So if anyone needs to budget for their project.